turn of speed, isn't it?
It has, yes. It does move so well.
Oh my goodness me.
Crikey.
That's progressing. Jesus. Good morning guys, and welcome back to Damo Drives, bringing real reviews to real people and answering some of those questions other channels might not talk about. I've got a question for you. What has a BMW iX and this E39 M5 have in common? I'll tell you. It's made by BMW, and that is where the similarities end. I've just stepped out of an iX around 4 days ago, and as a vehicle, as a tool from going from A to B, it is brilliant. It's full of tech, it's quiet, it's comfortable, it's well built. But as a driver's car, it doesn't tick any boxes for me. It's very fast in a straight line, and that is about it. If I owned an iX, I wouldn't be thinking, Sunday morning I'm going to get up and go for a bit of a blast down the road. It's not that sort of car at all. The E39 M5, on the other hand, is supposed to be one of the best driver's cars in a 4-door saloon. It's supposed to be amazing, not just from BMW, but in the world. It's going to be incredible, hopefully, and we'll find that out later on. And in terms of looks, the iX is challenging, should be the word to describe it. I quite like some parts of it. Many people don't like the looks of it from any angle whatsoever. But this car, this is timeless. It is a really handsome looking car. I love the features on it. The engine is incredible, and we'll talk about that a bit later. More importantly, hear it and see what it's like to drive. So let's have a good look around the E39 M5 and let's find out, does it deserve a legendary status of being a great driver's car, or is that a bit of a myth? From the front, you wouldn't really know this was an M5. There's something quite nice about a car being under the radar, and people who know will know that this is something rather special. Look at the size of these kidney grills as well. They are so small compared to where we are today. They're a proper size. Got the aluminium trim around the outside, and I think that denotes it is an M5. Now the lights, we've got angel eyes on here, and they look fantastic. They really don't look old at all. But the thing we need to talk about is what's under the bonnet. This is a very special engine. It is the S62, and under here we have a 4.9 litre V8 naturally aspirated beast, 400 PS, 500 newton meters of torque. And the thing that makes this so special is the fact it has ITBs. Now that's individual throttle bodies. Normal cars have one throttle. This, on the other hand, it has 8. We've got a bank of 4 on one side, fed by this airbox, and we've got another 4 over there feeding that airbox. It is a very complicated, in fact, overcomplicated system that modern cars don't use. You'll see them on race cars because it does give better throttle response. I'm looking forward to trying this because I know what it's like in theory, but out on the road, the proof is going to be in the pudding. Well, in the driving. And it's just supposed to be a really, really good engine. Naturally aspirated engines are a dying breed. Everything is turbocharged, so this is going to be a very different driving experience. So let's have a look around the side, because this is gorgeous. The side and these wheels get even better. Now these wheels are absolutely stunning. 245s at the front, 275s at the rear. To me, these are more like a piece of artwork. I'd be very proud to have them hung on my wall at home, although my wife may question why the wheels aren't actually on the car. But they're beautiful. The detail on them, they're just spectacular. They are painted in black initially, silver over the top, and it gives it like a shadow effect on there. It almost feels like they're textured, but they are amazing. Now the rest of the car from the side looks very, very familiar to any other 5 Series of this era. We have got an M5 badge down the bottom, and the wing mirrors are a slightly different shape as well. There's something unusual on the inside that is reflected to do with these wing mirrors as well, but we'll get to that in a bit. But it's an unassuming car. You would not know this thing is fast. You wouldn't think it's a driver's car. It looks like a rep's car, a normal car with a few touches. As they say, if you know, you know. Around the back, this is the view that most people are going to be seeing of this car as you hurtle past them at 70 miles an hour, because obviously this car doesn't go any quicker than 70. It's a bit more obvious that this is something special from the rear, not massively. We have got a large M5 badge. The best thing for me is the quad exhaust down the bottom, and it's still a practical family car. It's a big boot in there, and something I love over on the left, we've got a CD slot for your satellite navigation. Obviously this wasn't connected to the internet when this car came out, so you have got sat nav, but it's going to be stuck in 2000. But it's, again, it's a pretty unassuming car from the back, but just good looking. So I want to show you around the inside of the car. Again, it's going to be a step back to 2000s styling. So let's hop in and we'll have a good look around inside. Welcome to the back of the E39 M5. The first thing you notice is how light it is in here. There's huge amounts of visibility out the front. The seats are really low. Modern cars now, the seats are like right up here and you can't see anything. But this, on the other hand, feels completely and utterly different. It is quite dark, obviously, dark leather, but it looks good. Massive central armrest here. Again, it's squidgy. To me, it feels like I'm sitting in a really, really comfortable leather armchair in the back here. The seats are comfortable, they're a bit supportive, they're slightly sculpted round. It's just a nice place to be in here. We have got blowers in the back, so we've got hot and cold air for either side, which is a really nice thing to have, and it's got a built-in mobile phone. Motorola actually made these for this car, so open it up and you can make a call, but look how small that thing is. You're not going to be playing any games on this thing. That's quite cool though, and that's with the car, so we'll pop that back into its special holder. But just overall, it's very, very comfortable. It's airy, there's loads of headroom, reasonable amount of legroom. So let's hop into the driver's seat. Let's have a look around the cabin up there, and then the best bit, we're going to take it out on the road. So we're going to get miles very shortly and go from there. It's going to be good, this. Right, this is the most important thing. It's all about me now as the driver. It's an M car. You're not buying this to just potter around in. You're buying this because it's something a bit special. It's all about you, the engine, and being connected to the road. So this position, the drive, is so important. But we'll have a quick look around the cabin before we head out on the road. Now, driving the iX like 4 days ago, that was the digital tour de force. You know, big screens across here, but this is very analog, which is definitely a good thing. It just strips it back to the basics, which obviously in 1998 when this came out, this was the height of technology at the time. One thing that has been upgraded, which some of you will hate, some of you won't, we've removed the old infotainment system and replaced it with a brand new one, so you can connect your phone and a few other things like that. Moving underneath, now this really makes it feel sort of quite rugged, quite industrial, quite functional, is the climate control. It's a matte black area, big black buttons with a white picture on it. Very simple, very obvious what it's going to do. And that sort of goes over the whole ethos of cars of this generation. There's a button to do something. There's not menus I have to swipe through, touch, and then try and find something. So I like that. It doesn't look quite as cool as a digital one, but it's a lot more functional. We go back, we've got the 6-speed Getrag gearbox. Now I have read that people have complained sometimes it's a bit notchy, but I'm not gonna say it is until I've actually driven it. I'm gonna reserve judgment for that because it's not really fair Go back, we've got a ashtray and some weird little drawer to store something very small in. Not sure the purpose of that at all. Sliding armrest, and there's nowhere to store anything. A lot of cars you just lift it up and you get a big area underneath, but nope, we're not going to bother with that. But it does have the Motorola phone in there, so you can make a call if you need to. So we'll pop that back in there. Seats in here are lovely. They've got loads of adjustment, really comfortable. Over to the steering wheel, E46 M3 wheel, as this is the facelifted model. A few buttons on here for your cruise control and your stereo. Telescopic electronic adjustable steering wheel, just this lever underneath. So nice and simple. It just feels like it's built for a purpose of going quickly and comfortably at the same time. The dials on the instrument binnacle here, very simply laid out. This is the facelift, so again we've got grey background on here. I'm going to turn this on because this is quite cool. So at the moment the red line, or the is at 4,500 RPM. So we've got these dots that run around the instrument binnacle, and as the engine warms up, those dots go out until it hits its red line of just over 7,000 RPM. It's a good way of protecting the engine on the car. Now, something I mentioned earlier was about the shape of the wing mirrors. Now, if you look at the rear view mirror, that again is some weird shape as well. It's not a normal sort of rectangular one. Now, they designed this to match the same sort of shape as the wing mirror. It's really small and not exactly the best, so don't like that at all. But I suppose it's a quirk of the car. Now, another slight quirky thing on here is the air vents are actually on the door, and they've had to put this piping in to join the blower from underneath the dash to join into the door. I'll put some footage of that. Again, I'm sure that's over-engineered, but it's just a lovely place to be behind the wheel. I think this is going to be a very enjoyable drive, this, and I hope it lives up to the rather legendary status this car has been given, but time will tell, so let's go out for a bit of a drive. So the legend, it is the E39.
E39 M5. I mean, E39s are good, they're all good, they're just so well put together, but the M5 is something extra special. The
pinnacle.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, because so many people have said this is the best, it's amazing, it's brilliant, the best four-door you can get.
They're very hard to beat, they're so good at everything. I mean, if many of you have seen the videos of Sabina Schmitz absolutely caning it around the ring, no euphemism or anything intended there. Just trying to keep up with one of the top end Porsches. She's got passengers in the car, the thing's sideways everywhere, and it's still mightily fast. It's a car that you can do 1,000 miles in and in complete comfort.
It's lovely, isn't it? It's just wafting around.
It's effortless. I'm not going to give her full beans because she's not warm yet.
No, I got one little amber light left on there to...
I think find that one probably stays from memory.
Ah, okay. So it's just a warning. It's like...
Yeah, we're at 75 degrees of oil temperature now. So that's the crux point. That's what we're looking for. We want to get above that, and then you're kind of safe. You know, engine's within range. Ideally, you want to get it right up to temperature first.
It's quite a... I don't know whether they do it on modern cars like that. Whether they have...
Only decent cars really will have an oil temp gauge on, because they're for people that want to drive properly. You want to actually look after your engine.
Which is what this is. It's the...
Yeah, it's a proper car.
So that's tickling the throttle, and you can feel there's something there, isn't there, deep down, that you know, yeah, this is going to do something. I can't get over how quiet this is.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
This is shocking. And how smooth.
I think you'll find that's my driving demo. But,
oh, of course.
No, they're brilliant cars. They're an all-rounder. An E39 is a great car as it is. Yeah, we give it a manual 6-speed box and 400 horsepower through a stonking great V8 and a limited slip diff. It then becomes a lot of fun. There you
pulling and pulling. I wasn't sure whether it's going to be a big shouty car, but it's like a guttural.
They're not. They're not
civilised.
They're pretty chilled out. Again, you can open the exhausts up, get more out of them. Didn't turn the traction control off then because it's damp, and it started to slide, but it collected itself before it even had a chance to start winding lock on. So they're just easy to drive daily, even if you want to drive fast.
It's just so refined on this bit of road.
It's got so much to it.
Jesus.
We're not really using the revs there either.
It's like huge amounts of V8 torque going on, and
tons of it. Slightly muddy roads aren't ideal either for many revs. It does just want to go. We're not really using revs very much.
Getting near what it can do is just miles away.
They're super capable. So if you watch Sabine Schmitz, you'll see somebody driving one properly. But you could take this on track and it would still absolutely annihilate loads of cars, modern things, because it's so good all round and it's easy to drive. It's relaxing. You can press on and not feel flustered. So we're at 3,000 RPM now. Oh, traction kicked in straight away. We got to 60 immediately, so there's no point in changing up quickly.
Jesus.
That was with traction kicking in, so we didn't actually get the full force of what it's capable of then.
Is it quite intrusive traction on there? Is it like?
Yes, really. So with the E39s, hence why they didn't fit a differential to almost any of them apart from this. BMW were so pleased with their traction control system that they said none of our cars need a differential.
Huh.
So they didn't fit one. Whereas this,
Bloody hell.
there you go, that gives you a better idea of what it's capable of.
Just kept pulling there. That was
Yeah. So I'll turn that back on for safety's sake.
Ooh. God, that's
She wants to go.
throaty. It's just that deep burbly.
It is nice. It's not aggressive and it isn't intrusive, but you know you've got a V8. It's so responsive, isn't it? There's no point at which you put your foot down and you think, oh, I wish that throttle did a bit more.
It's like, no, it just picks up. It's all those lovely over-complex throttle bodies doing their magic in there.
Yeah, making things work for you exactly as your mind intended it to.
It's got a bit of a turn of speed, this, isn't it?
It has, yes. It does move
Oh
somewhat.
my goodness me.
Crikey.
That's progressing. Jesus.
So this is what I mean about the older cars. They feel as fast as the new stuff. The new stuff's even more refined and you're a bit taken away from the experience.
That felt fast.
Yeah, that was quite fast.
That was progressing, but it do you know what I mean? I've driven the new M5 and that was 60 in not much over 3 seconds.
Yeah,
but it didn't feel
manic fast.
No. The numbers shot up at a rapid rate of knots. But this is this.
It's just before they stopped being so raw. The V10 M6 I loved. I mean, I've always wanted one. It's a fantastic car and it is insanely fast. But the minute you take away a manual gearbox, that's what just kills it for me. And although those flappy paddles are just as savage.
Give that a bit of a gap.
Yeah, no worries. Although the flappy paddles are very savage in it.
Oh, traction control's like
Yeah. Soggy roads. But yeah.
But I don't feel out of control, you know, because I've never driven this. I've jumped in and gone.
Only
thump.
you and the car. And
Yeah.
that's the best thing about these is it's just you.
This is the bit that's absolutely
It's all
shocking.
bumpy
This
and
road.
horrible, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's,
Trying to find a bit that doesn't make you feel like you're going to be bouncing to next week. This is really
so
smooth.
like
how smooth it is.
It's just stupid, absolutely stupid.
If I battered down there in my car, it's rough. It really is rough. It irons out the bumps like nothing else.
Can heel in tow nicely. Set up for that, which is a good thing. God, traction control's going. What are you doing?
Yeah, it doesn't like it. The sogginess.
It is good. It is very, very, very good.
They're brilliant machines. There's not a lot they're not good at.
It's just biblical into, well, everything about it I love.
Its real high points are refinement, ride quality, and it's got to be the torque. The low end torque and punch as you change gears, it's just phenomenal.
You can see that those, you know, the ITB setup on here doesn't give it much more power, but the responsiveness of
that throttle is like a race car throttle, isn't it? You tap it and you immediately know what where you're at.
It's not loud and shouty, it's just a really pleasant feel.
It's not a blunt implement, is it? It's not going to kill you with a brute force and ignorance.
It's brilliant. So I'm very, very pleased that I've got the chance to drive these. It's not the sort of chance that you'll get very often, I don't think, because these are going to become more and more expensive, more and more rare.
It's going to become a more and more rare thing. I mean, again, you see loads of them on the road, never see them now, ever. These and the E28s, you're going to see less and less and less of them around. They're going to come out for shows and for best, but they're not cars that people are likely to daily drive anymore. They are too special.
We have to end the video on that one. I think that's a sad moment that it's coming to an end, but thanks again for letting me drive this lovely car. It is bloody good, to be honest.
Our pleasure.
Yeah. So
glad you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, give Miles a ring if you want to buy this. If it hasn't gone already.
If it hasn't already sold.
Yeah, I'll put contact details down below. But anyway, guys, hope you've enjoyed this. I've absolutely loved it. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. Comments are always welcome, and remember to click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.